Ella es Ellen Liberman. Gracias por acompañarnos. Bienvenida a la Argentina.
Very happy to be here.
Ellen, ¿qué es el alma?
I would define the soul as a divine spark, the moment of differentiation from source, which contains within it information of the divine, but also of a separate plan, like a mission for lives, to enact part of the divine program. That's how I would define the soul.
Cuando uno habla del alma, ¿de qué manera el alma puede quedar registrado? Las experiencias del alma, ¿de qué manera se registran?
The inscription within the soul is vibrational, and in many philosophies is considered to be inscribed in light and in sound, tone. And in fact, when we go back to the ancient scriptures, what we see are references to divine utterances, divine tones, which create form in our universe. So the mission of each soul is to create force, to work with the life force and create life. Because that's so complex, there are many, many souls in all of the universes which come into being, to come into realization and then return to the source. So it's a constant movement. Spirit is constantly recreating itself and moving, changing.
¿Y los registros akáshicos qué son?
The Akashic records are the inscription in essence of the soul's journey since differentiation. It is an extremely subtle landscape of energy which can be tapped into for guidance and direction and information to help individuals deepen their living process. In our work, we try to go very deeply so people can be moved into greater clarity, so they can understand things that are going on in their life, be they be in relationships, creativity, dreams, direction, mission, processes, work, these kinds of things.
¿Y cuál es la información que nos brindan? Si uno va decodificando esa información, ¿cuál es? ¿Para qué nos sirve?
It's a very good question, because people experience this decodement in a variety of ways. Sometimes they experience it as a realization of understanding. Sometimes it is through pictures. Sometimes it's through words, inspiration, feelings, certainly, bringing you closer to your loved ones, understanding what you're supposed to be doing in life, giving deeper meaning to your life. That would be the ultimate direction of it. Resolving things that were unknown to you before that moment. Clarity. Those are some of the things that we can expect from this kind of work.
¿Cómo se miden estos registros, estas experiencias?
The word measurement is very interesting that you selected that. You can't measure it, but we have quality instead of quantity. We have richness, a sense of fulfillment, a sense of wonder, sometimes a sense of the miraculous, or just a knowing. And I think our highest achievement, if you call it that, would be a deepening of love and understanding. That would be the greatest awareness that we could have in this type of work. We focus a lot on the heart in this work, in a capacity to love, especially compassion and empathy, because that is what's so needed in our world today. So we have a lot that can be healed just by expanding the ability to love in a higher way, to care for one another, to be there for one another, so that we come closer to our fellow man. These are the areas that we look at in our work.
¿Cómo es posible leer el alma? Seguramente alguien que nos está escuchando dirá, está bien, estoy de acuerdo, pero ¿cómo es posible leer el alma?
What we receive in trying to read the soul is a variety, or are a variety of impressions, which have a sense of deepening the level of consciousness of the individual. It's the depth that we're going for, the clarity, the purpose. There's a term that we use called empowerment. The empowerment of alignment, or aligning our heart to our higher self, to our purpose. These are the things that we look at, and when you're in this type of heartfelt truth, no one can take it from you. You enter into a very deep understanding or knowing. And usually what that leads to is a sense of forgiveness, of letting go, of healing, and knowing that everything in your life has led up to this moment of understanding. And there's an effect that it has in your entire being. It becomes resonant throughout. There's not a part of you that says, no, this is not so. There is an understanding completely that, yes, this is it. This is truly who I am. And when we work with people or with ourselves in this way, we suddenly are aware of, yes, this is my authentic self. This makes sense. This is the deepest experience that I can have of life. I am now completely alive. I am contributing to life. I can give and receive in a fuller way. Then we know that the soul is openly feeding and flowing through the rest of our being. It's a very heightened type of awareness.
A veces uno dice, encontré en la vida un alma gemela. Algunos a veces dicen, encontré mi alma, pero en la otra persona, coincidimos. ¿Qué estoy diciendo? ¿De qué se trata eso?
What we find is that our consciousness is more deeply mirrored in certain people than in other people. Sometimes when we look at another person and begin to interact, we are suddenly awakened to a new kind of potential. Sometimes that's called brainstorming or awareness. Sometimes it's called love. It's a sense of a profound communication that awakens you, and you see these aspects vitalized in the other person. In the deepest sense, at times you don't know who the other is and who the self is, so you enter into a different kind of oneness with that person, and you're elevated from the experience.
¿Qué pasa cuando las personas físicamente mueren? ¿Qué pasa con sus almas?
It's actually more of a question what happened with their bodies rather than what happened with their souls. The soul is not destroyed. The godly soul is not destroyed. It is merely let's put it this way, the vehicle or the vessel that the soul was in has been altered. The soul itself is not lost. It is simply shifted, or the garment around the soul is changed. But the soul then has dropped an external garment and is elevated into another type of reality for further work or to return to the source.
Una realidad superior.
That's a good question. Is it a superior reality? Sometimes, yes, it is a superior reality. It is another reality. And it is a reality where there is less illusion, generally speaking, and greater truth and clarity. It's often talked about in various metaphysical teachings that this reality is the one that is the most dense. This being the physical dimension is the most dense and has the most illusion. And it is the higher realities that have less illusion and have greater truth.
Digo yo que no hay casualidades, porque uno puede hablar de almas gemelas, pero tenemos que hablar de hermandad, no solamente de alma, sino de sangre. Ella es Roni Reisler, hermana, claro, de Ellen Liberman, a quien acabamos de escuchar. ¿Y ustedes son almas gemelas? ¿Usted y Ellen son almas gemelas?
I'm not certain that we're twin souls, but I do believe that we were meant to come together in the same family. And since we learned together how to use this particular kind of methodology at the same time, and we are also contrasting energies, we were probably meant to work together and perhaps complete the work together.
No por casualidad usted tampoco nos acercó unos mandalas. ¿Qué es un mandala? Para aquellos amigos que no tienen la menor idea, ¿qué es un mandala?
A mandala is a circular form of art that is considered sacred in many cultures. Mm-hmm. I have learned to work from the Hindu and Buddhist tradition, which some people may be familiar with. I'm told that a short while ago the Tibetan monks came to Argentina to do one of the most famous mandalas, the Kala Chakra, which is a very large circular art form with colored sand to bring in peace. Native Americans use them, and they call them Indian or medicine wheels. Certain Jewish Kabbalists and Sufi Muslims also use them for prayer and protection, or to bring about strong and favorable godlike energies to them. The important thing about the mandala is that it's viewed as a meditation tool and a healing tool. And in the Buddhist tradition, it is said that if one meditates upon the mandala meant for him, then he will eventually arise to Buddhahood. So he will become an enlightened one.
Usted ha logrado traducir el alma y los registros del alma en mandalas. Estos registros akáshicos en mandalas. A ver si podemos tener la posibilidad de mostrar a nuestros amigos lo que hace Roni Reisler sobre el alma y los colores, y las mandalas, y los circuitos, y los registros. Estamos viendo este mandala. ¿De qué se trata, Roni?
In order to explain some of this, I'll explain shortly how I do this, if that's all right with you. In order to arrive at these forms, I open my own Akashic records, and I open the Akashic records of the person who has requested the mandala. Uh-huh. Some people I actually know and see, and some I do not know. They've asked me on the phone or by letter to do them, and I have never met them.
Por teléfono?
Yes, yes. So what comes through basically is that there are forms and colors and shadings and gradations and shapes that vibrate or resonate with the beauty of the soul of the individual. Mm. And all of these are very unique and all have their own intrinsic beauty. And it feels to me as if it's the beauty that is connecting with the person. Most people who have received theirs have said, oh, this is so beautiful. Well, yes, it's beautiful because you are beautiful. These inner movements, these colors, which I really like, the rays, the color
es simplemente una traducción de ese alma. Usted traduce, así como nos están traduciendo a nosotros este diálogo informal. Digo, y este mandala, por ejemplo, ¿a quién representó en su momento? A ver. ¿Qué es este mandala? ¿Qué es este dibujo?
This is the mandala of a man. And to put it very simply, it appears that he has great energy centered through the mountains. Also, the picture of the stag or the hart, the male deer, is a very universal and spiritual symbol for strength, gentleness, beauty, creativity. These are old Egyptian symbols, the Eye of Horus, which is frequently parallel to wisdom. And this is the opening in the blossoming flower, so that he is continually unfolding and growing.
¿El alma siempre está abierto hacia otro alma? ¿Los almas se abren? ¿Las almas se abren? ¿O cada uno en esta cápsula de viaje, uno la encierra y la transporta donde puede?
If you are speaking of within the framework of this kind of work, I do this only with permission. So the assumption is that to some degree they are allowing something to be opened in them by the energy. I believe through our methodology that souls are open where they are meant to be opened and when they can be opened. And how much openness one wants to have is how one connects.
Estaba pensando que para abrir uno necesita una llave. ¿Cuál es su llave?
Well, we use a holy prayer to access the records. And behind that prayer, one develops through the technique trust. So it is faith and trust that what is coming through is clear and pure and out of unconditional love. There is no judgment in this.
Y ese rezo convoca, invoca algo o alguien. Es una adoración, es una invocación a energías superiores.
From my point of view, I would say, yes, we do call upon a superior energy. We call upon God, and we call upon the Lords of the Akashic Records. But we work to do the highest good for the highest good of all concerned.
Ya que nos trajo la posibilidad de poder ilustrar sus experiencias, este mandala, ¿a quién representa? ¿A qué alma representa?
I have never met this woman.
Nunca.
No. And it was given to her as a gift from a person who had received her own mandala. This person is working with some dark areas in her life that are starting to open up and bloom, but still are being transformed. And in this case, the green probably could mean healing, but green is also eternity and teaching.
¿Está en movimiento?
Maybe if you look at it long enough, you can decide that for yourself. I think it moves, but it is what she sees in it that's important.
¿Y este mandala?
Oh, that's for a very angelic lady. And I
Muy
think,
joven.
No, she is not very young, but she has the perceptions of one who is very clear and pure.
¿Las almas envejecen?
I don't think they become older in the way we think of physical time or deterioration. I think they become more expanded.
Se expanden.
Yes.
Es decir, es de permanente crecimiento.
Yes. If one is to believe that the universe is expanding. Yes. Yes.
A modo de cierre, ¿cuál es su alma?
My soul is a miracle.
Muchas gracias. Lo mejor para usted.